Vice President Dr. Baran Jagdeo on Friday, September 16, led an outreach to East Berbice Quarantine Region 6. The Vice President announced the awarding of road contracts to the tune of $8.6 billion for the region and noted that major infrastructural projects are slated for the once neglected region. He was speaking at the Albion Community Center.
The neglect has been with the infrastructure. I've gone to other regions and I've seen better spending, more spending on infrastructure. It seems as Region 6 was and 3, particularly 3, Region 3 and Region 6 were totally neglected. When I look at the investment profile in these regions for the last 6 years or 5 years or so, practically nothing has been spent in these regions. And so this is one of the ways we're going to correct it. So when we went back from Berbice the last time, having listened to people, we said we're going to do 300 roads this year in Berbice. It was a tall order. It's tough, but we said we'll get it done. And we have already completed over 100, or the contract has been awarded. Some have been completed, some are on the way to be completed. And today we are here now. We're over 200 more roads with about 268 contracts, but over 200 roads will be awarded. So that will because I gather some of the roads are split in lots, yes. So that will keep the promise that we made. When I left here, I said at a press conference, I think it was, that we had $4 billion in the budget and that we probably have to increase by another $4 billion to get this done. Well, it will be close to $10 billion that's being spent on roads in this region this year. And these are just community roads. So this is essential. This is not the end. Next year, we have to do another set of roads so that this entire region, not just Region 6. You're gonna hear the naysayers say, oh, Region 6 supports the PPP, as though here you don't have people who support PPP don't have a right to drive on roads and stuff like that. But when you go to Linden too, we're spending this year more than APNU spent, I think, in about 3 years, $1 billion, and that is just in a small in the township, basically, in Linden, because it's compact. And the same thing about $1 billion, maybe $2 billion in the whole of the Essequibo Coast. So those areas are, when you look at per capita expenditure, it's still very high because given numbers of people who live there and stuff like that. So we're not too bothered by these comments. Our philosophy again is that we're going to work for all of our people. All of our people. They all have the right to good services from the state. They all have the right to have a good quality education, find a job, and we're going to invest wherever it takes.
Fisher folk in the region also began receiving the government's $150,000 one-off grant. The exercise was led by the Vice President at the Port Moran Community Center ground and the Skeldon Community Center ground, respectively. While Fisher folk were expecting to receive the grant sooner, Vice President Jagdeo explained that the government had to take every measure to verify the list of persons who registered for the grant.
So since we got into office, we have given a $25,000 grant to every household in Guyana, the COVID assistance. And we had some difficulties there. Some people try to rip off the system. We can't know because it's 350,000 households we have in Guyana, and they each got 25,000. When we gave the flood assistance, the same thing happened. Maybe 99% of the people who got relief were okay. They lost some things and they got some help. But you had some people who lost nothing, they put down their names. And then some who did lose, they didn't get anything. So guess who took all the blame for it? Not the people who rip off the system, but the PPP government. So we put $8 billion out because we wanted to help people, get them in the flood because of the flood. And then at the end of the day, because of problems, it's nearly 70, 80,000 people who got help. Some people rip off the system, and then we got the blame on social media. Everybody saying, oh, it's PPP, look, they didn't verify, this man got money. We can't know if you have 80,000 people. You have about 1,000 people here. Just imagine 80 times this size. 80 times the amount of people here. How would we know who ripped off the system and who didn't? So the same thing we started off saying about 5,000 fishermen, but now we're over 9,000, nearly 10,000. So we have decided one thing we don't want to do is to not help people who actually are fishermen.
The Vice President also updated the residents about the Part-Time Jobs Initiative and other interventions by the government to supplement household income and bring relief to Guyanese in light of the increase in cost of living.
In this region alone, when I came here the last time, we got 4,000 people working on a part-time job now who got jobs, earning $40,000 a month for 10 days work. So that's 4,000 people working now in this region who are not working. And that was just a couple of months ago. Every month, that will put $160 million Ghana dollars back into the pockets of the people in this region. So that's about $2 billion per year if you multiply 160 by 12. 12 months in the year. And Gaisuko, the APNU closed down their 2 factories. And those 2 factories were the lifeblood, because if you're a fisherman, you need people to buy your fish, the businessmen and stuff. When they closed those 2 factories, they took away most of the income of those workers. So everything practically collapsed. The hardship started because people didn't have money to buy a lot of stuff. So that's what we are trying to put more money back in people's pockets. Although we have had this COVID and the cost of living, we're trying to do that. So we rehired now at Skeldon about 400 or 500 of the 2,000 people who were laid off. At Rose Hall, you had about 900 laid off. We rehired about 700 so far. And now we're going to expand at Albion. We're going to move to some hemp back into sugar, and probably some aquaculture at Skeldon. We're working with the private farmers now. We're building a road down to Molson that will bring in about 35,000 acres of land under cultivation, create about 2,000-3,000 more jobs in that area.